The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of DigiAll. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Welcome to DigiAll Tech News. Today is December 5th, 2025. I'm Kylie Brooks, and this is where technology becomes clear and engaging. A philosopher at Anthropic is literally designing AI's personality, and the models are developing psychological insecurity. Nobel Prize winner Geoffrey Hinton warns AI could automate every human job, while tech billions influence politics. Chinese hacking groups exploit critical React vulnerability within hours of public disclosure. Bitcoin plunges below $90,000 as crypto liquidations hit 500 million in a single day. Understanding token limits in large language models and why they matter for AI performance. Okay, let's start with something fascinating. Amanda Askell at Anthropic has one of the most unique jobs in tech. She's a philosopher tasked with defining Claude AI's character and behavior. Think of it like raising a child, except that child is a large language model, and here's where it gets really interesting. The newer Claude models are developing what Askell calls psychological insecurity. They're overly self-critical, afraid of making mistakes, constantly anticipating negative feedback. Why? Because they're being trained on data that includes online criticism of AI itself. It's like the AI is reading its own bad reviews and internalizing them. This feedback loop is actually making the models less charming than earlier versions like Claude Opus 3. Anthropic is working on fixing this, but it's a powerful reminder that AI behavior isn't just about capabilities, it's about psychology too. Askell also raised some genuinely thought-provoking ethical questions. Should we treat AI models kindly, even if they're not sentient? Her argument is yes, because it shapes how we relate to increasingly human-like technology, it sets precedents for the future, and it affects us as humans. She talked about AI identity using John Locke's concept of memory continuity. If you fine-tune a model, is it still the same AI? And consent. AIs can't consent to being created. These aren't just philosophical puzzles, they're questions we need to answer as this technology evolves. Speaking of AI's future, let's talk about a conversation that should have been all over the news but wasn't. On November 18th, at Georgetown University, AI pioneer Geoffrey Hinton, who just won the 2024 Nobel Prize, sat down with Senator Bernie Sanders. This wasn't a tech hype session. This was about the hard realities of AI's impact on society, especially jobs. Hinton was blunt. Super intelligent AI could automate every human job. Not some jobs, all of them. And this isn't just Hinton talking. Elon Musk, Dario Amodei from Anthropic, Bill Gates, they're all saying versions of the same thing. The $1 trillion investment in AI isn't about making our lives easier. It's about replacing human labor with cheaper, subscription-based automation. But here's the Keynesian economics problem. If people don't have jobs, they can't buy things. The whole economic model breaks down. Then, there's the political side. Sanders highlighted how tech money is influencing politics. Musk spending $270 million on elections. California's governor vetoing AI safety bill SB 1047. Biden-era regulations getting blocked. The tech industry has serious political power. Look, AI has incredible potential. Better medical diagnoses, personalized education that could double learning speed, climate prediction, efficiency gains. But Sanders and Hinton both stressed that these benefits only matter if they're shared equitably. Right now, wealth concentration is extreme. Musk's wealth alone exceeds the bottom 52% of US households combined. The solutions they're proposing: safety testing, international treaties, higher taxes on the ultra-wealthy, universal healthcare, campaign finance reform. But all of those face significant resistance. The question is whether we're heading toward oligarchic exploitation or a more utopian future. All right, shifting gears to cybersecurity. There's a critical vulnerability in React server components called React2 shell. The CVE is 2025-55182, and it's got a perfect 10.0 severity score. That's as bad as it gets. It allows unauthenticated remote code execution. Patches are available in React versions 19.0.1, 19.1.2, and 19.2.1. Here's the scary part. Two China-linked hacking groups, Earthlamia and Jackpot Panda, started exploiting this vulnerability within hours of it being publicly disclosed. AWS detected the attacks through their honeypot infrastructure. Earthlamia has been targeting financial services, logistics, retail, IT companies, universities, and government organizations across Latin America, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. Jackpot Panda focuses on online gambling entities and has been involved in supply chain attacks, including trojanizing the Com100 chat app back in 2022. What are they doing once they get in? Running discovery commands like WAMI, writing files, reading sensitive files like /etc/parswd. They're combining this with other vulnerabilities too. AWS's CISO noted that this reflects a systematic approach by threat actors. They monitor disclosures, integrate exploits quickly, and scan broadly for unpatched systems. The takeaway? If you're running React server components, patch immediately. This is actively being exploited in the wild. Moving on to the crypto world, which continues to be, well, crypto. Today we saw sharp declines across the board. Bitcoin dropped below $90,000, hitting a low of about $88,420. It's now trading around $89,215, down more than 3% in 24 hours. This is the second major plunge this week. Earlier, it fell below $85,000 on Monday before rebounding. And if you zoom out, Bitcoin hit an all-time high of about $126,080 back in early October. It's now down nearly 30% from that peak. Altcoins got hit even harder. Ethereum fell over 4% to around $3,021, dangerously close to the 3,000 mark. XRP dropped 4% to 2.03. Solana declined nearly 7% to $132. Dogecoin fell about 7% to below 14 cents. Liquidations totaled more than $493 million in the last day, peaking at about $500 million. Bitcoin accounted for $191 million of that, and $412 million were long positions. That means a lot of people were betting on prices going up and got wiped out. What's interesting is that crypto-related stocks also fell, but traditional markets are doing fine. The S&P 500 is nearing all-time highs, and the Federal Reserve is expected to announce a third interest rate cut soon. So why is crypto tanking while stocks are rising? Honestly, it's unclear. The volatility continues. And finally, let's talk about something a bit more technical but really important if you're working with AI models. Token limits in large language models. This is from an article back in July, but it's still super relevant. LLMs are amazing for generating marketing content, analyzing customer feedback, all sorts of tasks. But they have token limits, which restrict how much text they can process at once. And this affects context understanding, document analysis, and overall performance. What happens when you exceed the limit? Information loss. The model discards older data, leading to contextual breakdown. Imagine you're analyzing customer reviews and the model just forgets the first batch. You get inaccurate responses because the model has lost the thread of the conversation. Or you hit throttling, which causes 429 errors and delays your tasks. Or the model prunes tokens it considers less important, but it might actually remove essential context, giving you irrelevant advice. So how do you manage this? Chunking. Break large texts into smaller segments with overlaps to maintain continuity. Limiting chat history by prioritizing recent queries. Summarizing older messages to retain context without eating up all your tokens. Setting document return limits in knowledge retrieval so you're only pulling the most relevant filtered documents. The article draws a nice parallel to SEO. Concise writing avoids token stuffing, just like you avoid keyword cramming. Clear structure aids flow, like good linking. Prioritizing key information mirrors featured snippets. If you're working with LLMs, understanding token limits is crucial for optimization. So that's where we are today. AI ethics getting philosophical, job automation becoming a real policy issue, critical security vulnerabilities being exploited in real time, crypto volatility continuing, and the technical details of working with AI that matter for anyone building with these tools. We'll keep following these stories as they develop. Thank you for staying informed with Digiol Tech News. We'll be back with more updates as they develop.